So yeah, I'll start with the author solution, and then continue to prize winners, and then I will present like of course I have like some time for questions and stuff like that. Then I present a new task, again some time for questions, and then a couple of things, just organization kind of stuff, and then. So yeah, let me share the screen. Yes. Oh, can you see the um, uh, my screen with the solution? So can you see my screen? Anybody?
Да, я вижу.
Okay. So yeah, so that basically I have like there were 4 people who actually sent a submission, and they don't have like many issues, but there were 2 significant, and that I will highlight this. One of them was this. So there is a tricky thing with the how you need to select this last 7 days, but the not including today, which was like relatively heavy. I guess the phrasing was heavy. So I think 3 or 4 people have issues with that. That's why I was thinking on that, and the next next question for the next task, I make it much easier, but still easy for me to check, because I don't want to have it like starting from now, because this way any every time I will run it, it will give a little bit different result, which is harder to check. So that this one thing I didn't. So if the person have this a little bit not the right way, so this time thing, I did subtract a little bit from the overall score, but like 5%. It's just a little bit to differentiate people who actually did it right, the one person. But I don't think this is important thing. So that, but originally the thing was asked that you need to do it by the full days, 7 days in a row, but not including today. This is how I did it. And like if you want to do this specific thing, you can use this kind of questions query, and it might be useful if you want to recalculate this such queries once a day, and to be sure that already all the data is collected for the previous day. Yeah, and one other thing which was like quite important is that in the task, I asked that we calculated this statistics, but only for the native transfers. And in order to understand this, we need to I guess to read carefully the documentation, for example, for this specific table. So because it consists of 3 kind of transfers: the native transfers of souls, these transfers of tokens, which called, I think, SPL token in this table, this token version, and then also token 2022, which is like a new version, extended version. So we were only caring about these native transactions. And if you forgot to add this condition, of course, the result would be completely not even the order of magnitude the same. And I actually did it to simplify the task, because it's harder to manage these different kind of versions. But in the end, like a couple of people missed this, and because the result is completely different, and for the time range, it's not that significant for the task, but this was significant. So I subtracted significant part of the score for this. So that overall, so we like how the structure looks. So we need to get all the transfers, only natives, only like big enough for the right range of time. And then there are different ways to do this, but basically we are just, we need to find the counts of the transactions, both for the outgoing and incoming, and also the amounts of transactions. And because it's the same token, it's very simple. We don't need to convert anything. Yeah, and the easiest way to do this, just union the same transfers, but for the owner when it's incoming and outgoing. So, but it might be, again, it might be done different ways, and I saw different solutions, but you can do this also this way. Yeah, and then we just aggregate it. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. There were a couple of tough places, but overall, all the 4 people who tried to do this, they got the idea, right? Maybe, again, with this native part, they missed it. But even without this, the solutions are like, the ideas were correct. So the basic flow were correct. So maybe you have some questions at this point about my solution, or about I guess, how the score were devised. If yes, just turn on the mic and ask. This means no questions. So the second thing, which is I think important, that how actually, what are the scores? So that it is, so there are 2 people who submitted right after the submission deadline, like in half an hour. And for this, I subtracted 10% of the score. Also for this, if you don't, so if you summed not only native transactions, but also all the others, like basically there, it was important because there is a rapid solve, and in this table, it's the same token. And if we're mixing them together, we get in the wrong result, but it's not 0, it's just significantly less score. And also only 1 person did the bonus task, so I added a little bit. So yeah, yeah, I guess that's it. So there were 2 submissions which I consider the full score, and they also will have the neural prize winners, which I think is nice. And also 2 submissions which are not full, but still they are good. The idea is good, just not like the result is still wrong, but the ideas are good. Yeah, so I guess the price is proportional to this score. That's I think that's important. I will contact these people and ask them to share the where to transfer this the prices. So I guess you probably know it's you, but yeah, I mean, I will just contact them so you will know that it's you. Yeah, so I guess that's all about the prize winning. There is one more thing about the prize, which I didn't know when I started the token. So for some reason, Jupyter not routing the selling of the token, which is having not that many transactions after, I think, 2 weeks after the token creation time. So the only way how I manage to like swap the tokens is that with the PumpFun on interface. I will probably just send a link to the people who get these tokens, to the prize winners, and it's not hard, but it's just not. It might be not expected to have this because it will just in Jupyter it will show. I don't know how to swap it. That's the thing. Yeah. So that's, I think that's it about the prizes. Now let's go to the new task. And this. Yeah, so this is another idea, I think, which is also interesting. So I just trying to, with this task, highlight some interesting things on the Solana blockchain. And the one thing which you may know, that it's very easy to create a new token, and nothing prevents you to create a token with the same name, with the same ticker, you can call it duplicate, and the task is about this duplicate. So you need to consider all the tokens that created on Solana, and you need to find the duplicate ones, specifically the ones that have exactly the same name and exactly the same the same symbol and the same token name. But if it's the same name, but they just, the capital or not capital, it's still considered the same, because a lot of duplicates which are only different by this parameter. So yeah, so you need to aggregate, find all the tokens with the same name, and from all of them, you need to find one which was the first one, to like the original one, I guess. And this is the task. And of course, there are too many tokens, so you don't need to calculate. Don't need to output all of them in your query. Just the top 40 tokens that, first of all, they have at least 50 instances. So there are at least one original and 49 duplicates. So it's like tokens that were duplicated a lot for some reason. And also, from all of this, starting from most recent, like the ones that were created on the March 18, and you only output the last 40 from this massively duplicated tokens. This is the basic idea, but also you need to like how the results should look like. So you need to have this name and symbol, just from the original token. Then after this, you need to have like the first and last creation timestamp. So for original one, and for the last duplicate that were created with the same name and same symbol, and the total number of duplicates, and the mint address, like the address you can actually use to trade it, for the earliest occurrence for this original token. So that's basically it. So I think you can find this information in many places. But for example, there is Dune table, which could be very handy. But this is like very naturally, you can find it at any analytical destination for Solana, just because it's like the basic information about tokens, it's needed for many tasks. Yeah, so here, because there is not much to, there is not much of aggregation. I just expect this table to be equal. so without any difference in count or something. Yeah, so I guess there's a couple of things. Again, as always, most of the uh, tables in Dune and everywhere, they are in UTC. So you also can, like for example, here, it's important because we only consider the accounts created before the March 19. It means UTC. And there is also some other parameters, for example, decimals, and we don't count them. So just name it simple. Yeah, and the rest is pretty much, yeah, so there is basically it for the question. And here I want to have some time. Maybe you have any questions. If yes, just turn on the mic and ask. Hmm? So for those who, for some reason, can be here and listening to this in record, you still can ask questions, preferably on the Discord. Um, you can try to ask under the YouTube video, but it may take more time than in Discord. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's no questions here right now. You can ask them later if you have them. There are a couple of things which I wanted to change, and one of them is because on this week there are 2 people out of 4 who actually sent their solution right after the deadline, and I think I wanted to make it easier to send it a little bit earlier, so it also would be fairer to have a strict deadline. So for that, I propose to you that you will send the solution a little bit earlier. So if you send your solution before the 1 day before the final deadline, so until the Saturday night, you will get more points. So it would be bonus points. So there is a reason to start a little bit earlier, finish earlier. But if you are not if you're not ready until the end of the Saturday, you still have time. I think it may be good for. But the next time, we will have no. So I will probably give no points if you send the solution after the final deadline. So that's. I think let's try it this way. This is one thing. Yeah, and another thing is that a couple of people mentioning that they have a free Dune, and because most of the data are on the Dune, which is natural. They have a lot of tables for Solana, so they can't actually export their CSVs, which could be handy in many cases. So what I wanted to do is I created a team on Dune, which has a small limit of queries. So um, I will send a link. You can join to this team, and using this limit of this team, you can export the CSVs, which are very small. So it actually takes at almost no points. So all the participants can do this. Yeah, so there would be a special a team which can have, so you can export all the CSVs you want for these competitions. Yeah, I think that's it. So that, I mean, the final round of questions, maybe comments, maybe suggestions, and yeah. Again, if you are ready. Okay, I see your emojis, which is better than nothing. Yeah, I saw your text that you're actually in the middle of the working day and you can't really comment with the voice. Yeah, the Hadik thing, I hope yeah, I pronounce it correctly. So you can either turn the microphone on and just say it, or you can just if for some reason it's not fits to you, you can text in the same as you did. So you're welcome to just type your question if you for some reason can't talk.
Hi everyone. So I just wanted to know what the motivation behind the challenges. Is there any specific thing you want, like you are building a community, or you want to train? What the specific motivation?
Yeah, so I tried to write about the motivation in this Notion, like on the main Notion page. But just to reiterate, I want this community to be like because I think that Solana have a lot of interesting things going on there, and not as many analytical people who can actually work with this, and me included. So I'm not professional. That's why I'm not analytic on Solana blockchain. I just trying to learn with you. So one motivation is actually to learn myself, another to make something good for the Solana blockchain, and the third one is actually to build the community, and maybe something good also will come from this community. For example, if you have a strong community of analytics on Solana, maybe we can have some partnership and to do some bounties, and I think it may be good. This is the big picture, but it's very early. I don't know where it will go, and I hope it will last at least for all of us to learn all of the important things. Yeah, for the Solana, because I think it's at least it's interesting.
Between thanks, because I've been part of blockchain and right now I'm data engineer. So I was looking something to get hands dirty to start working SQL and blockchain. So I think this challenge are perfect for me. Anything, if I am a data engineer, I'm in Web2 space, and if I want to explore blockchain, I've been part of blockchain. I have did some internship, being part of some of the Hyperlane community. Is there any possibilities where data engineering and blockchain can align?
Um, so I think I get most of the questions, but didn't get the final important part. So you're saying that you have the background of data engineering, and but I didn't get the like what the
So,
question.
so my question is there any possibilities or work, any work where blockchain and data engineer can come hand to hand apart from analytics? Is there any platform specifically
Uh-huh.
dedicated to blockchain and data
Uh,
engineering?
so, so I get the question like, so if I want to like to do some analytics on the blockchain, is there is the place where I can find some work for this role, right?
More like so is there any a need for data engineering and blockchain? Like
Um, I, okay. So you mean like not the analytical role, but actually data engineering, right?
directly data engineering.
Uh-huh. Yeah. In this case, I think, of course, because like even the simple things, for example, uh, the in order to actually to so behind people behind the dune are data engineers, and the same for there are few other analytical platforms for the Solana and other blockchains. They are mostly, I think they're mostly data engineers, because it's solving every day the tasks how to efficiently store the data, and like it may be like a little bit low level for this specific task, but it's still a part of the data engineering. Beside this, there are a lot of applications that needs to just to build pipelines over the transactions. Some of them, but some of these pipelines should be real time. Some of them should be, they maybe, I mean, may work a long time. But I'm just saying that if you want to build any product on Solana, you probably need to be to have at least some understanding of data engineering, because there are a lot of transactions, like a lot for most of the cases, and you need to like just even the processing of them, but also to make some sense of them. So I think yes. So and personally, I consider myself ML engineer, so and it helps me a lot to work with this data. Yeah, I guess that's how I would answer this.
Yeah, thanks for answering this question. Bye.
Okay, so I think because there are no more questions, let's conclude this, and I hope that even more people will come for this week's task. I think the topic is important and interesting. Let's meet in Discord.
Thank you. Goodbye.